A lot of planning, a lot of strategy has gone into preparing for this afternoon's ball games. As for the offenses, certain players have certain responsibilities. Here's Don Shane.
Game 1 went to Michigan 49-48, and it produced a very unlikely offensive hero in freshman guard Keith Smith. Smith sank this free throw with no time left on the clock to win it for the Wolverines. And that's just one of 3 games in the conference this season that the Spartans have lost in the closing seconds. Yet they're still on the hunt to defend their Big Ten championship.
Okay, Hi, my name is Irvin Johnson. I play guard. I'm 6'8". I weigh 209. And I feel the most important thing about this Michigan State game is because it's Michigan, and it's because it's Michigan State, and they're both in the same state, and because we're trying to get an NCAA bid and win the Big Ten title.
Irvin controls the key. Irvin is considered not a perimeter shooter, but what he is a scorer, and he definitely is going to have to score in this ball game. I think in the key games for Michigan State, your big man has to score. Of course, Irvin as well has the duty of performing the playmaking chores.
Johnson also controls the key to the future of the MSU program, and all Spartan fans want to know if he's going to turn pro at the end of this season.
Right now, Irvin Johnson doesn't know. Irvin Johnson is thinking about that. Irvin Johnson's trying to help his team to the Big Ten title, hopefully, but mainly trying to get an NCAA bid. So Irvin Johnson's trying to leave that thing in back of his mind and try to just concentrate on the remaining of the 6 games we have.
My name is Jay Vincent, 6'8", 225 power, forward for Michigan State University. This game between us and the University of Michigan is a very, very big game for us. We at least have to win this game if we want any kind of title hopes for us to at least share or win it all. It's a revenge for us. They beat us by 1 point down in the University of Michigan, and it's a very big game for myself.
Jay Vincent is a player that's an active center, small center, but takes up room. And I believe that Michigan State would like to see him very much going to the basket on Phil Hubbard.
Vincent enjoys working against bigger centers. Here against Ohio State, he used his quickness to consistently beat Herb Williams, the Buckeye 6'11" center.
My name is Gregory KELSER. I'm a 6'7", 200-pound forward from Detroit, Michigan. This game has special emphasis to me because Michigan State has such a great rivalry that dates back to God only knows when, and for us to win it will be a great plus for our program.
Well, Greg KELSER is a player that has to score. He has to be very mobile, and he loves to work inside, and I think that's where he'll do his most damage against Michigan, getting inside for the close-in shots, and then do some, but not a great deal, of perimeter shooting.
Hi, I'm Terry Donnelly, 6'2", from St. Louis, Missouri. I think today's game is going to be another tough Michigan State battle. I hope that we can win this game at home and go on and win the Big Ten championship.
Terry Donnelly is a supportive player offensively. Again, he's one that's going to shoot about 6 times, and if they win the ball game and are operating efficiently, he's going to make about 4 of them.
Hello, I'm Ronald Charles. I'm a 6'7" forward from the Virgin Islands, and the Michigan game means revenge for me.
Charles is their steady performer. He's one of those players that when you play against in a key game like Michigan, you want him to maybe shoot 6, make 4, and that's how teams win, with those supportive casts that do that sort of thing.
Hi, I'm Mike BRKOVICH, a 6'4" sophomore guard from Windsor, Ontario. And the Michigan game is important to me and the team because it's like a revenge game. We want to get back at them after that 1-point loss.
Mike BRKOVICH is their perimeter shooter. He's the man that they want to, in the event of a zone, be able to get the ball to him and get the outside shot.
Mike is only half of one of the few brother combinations playing on the same major college basketball team. His younger brother Don is a freshman guard, and playing for the same team is something both hoped would happen.
I think it's a big advantage because we're both roommates, and I tell him what he's doing wrong, and he can give me a lot of confidence, tell me what I'm doing wrong, and it's not like it's coming from a coach or a player, it's coming from your brother. Yeah, when I was in high school, I kind of thought I'd be playing with my brother in college. I hope so, anyway.
What kind of game does Michigan State have to play to beat the University of Michigan?
Well, I think that we have to play our game, and by our game, I say we have to get into a running game of some kind. I know Michigan does that well, but the game at Ann Arbor was kind of a low-scoring, ball-control game, which I think might be to their advantage when ordinarily it is not. And so we hope that it'll be a wide open game. We think we have to play solid defense, as you always do if you hope to win. But I think we have to generate more offense than we did in the last game.
For Michigan, though, it's a different story. They are basically out of the conference race, but would like nothing better than to beat the Spartans twice within the same year.
Hi, my name is Phil Hubbard. I'm from the University of Michigan. I'm a senior. I'm 6'7", from Canton, Ohio, and my major is special education.
Well, Phil's, of course, the offensive catalyst, all right? They'll try to get him the ball underneath. He'll try to work the ball inside low, draw some fouls. He's the rebounder. He's basically he's the hub of the team.
But it's been a frustrating season for Phil Hubbard. The team has a disappointing record, and he hasn't fully recovered from his leg injury. Will these two factors influence his decision to turn pro?
Well, that's the big question, but my main concern is beating Michigan State today, you know, and I wait to see later on answer the rest of that.
Hi, I'm Mike McGee. I'm 6'5" forward from Omaha, Nebraska, majoring in PE.
Mike McGee's the scorer. He's very dangerous. When he's not scoring points himself, he's getting openings for other people. He's a good, strong driver to the hoop. They've got to do a better job of getting him open shots. He doesn't shoot so well off the dribble. Standing still is his best suit.
Hello, Mom, Dad, and everyone. Thomas Staten, 6'3", 195 pounds. Play for the University of Michigan, plan to go into law school.
Tommy Staten, of course, coming off the bench and playing probably the best basketball of his life the last 5 or 6 games. Normally, on offense, we don't expect him to do too much. He's, once again, a penetrator, but over the last 5 games, he's shown the ability to make the outside shot, too.
Hi, I'm Marty BODNAR. I'm a sophomore. I'm 6'3", from Barberton, Ohio, and I play in a major in business.
Well, Marty BODNAR is strictly the outside shooter. He's been taken out of the starting lineup, but if Michigan State plays his own defense and they've had trouble shooting from the outside, he's the one who's going to come in. He, of course, hit the winning basket here just a week ago, so he's just a pure shooter on the team.
Hello, I'm Alan Hardy. I'm 6'6". I'm a senior at the University of Michigan, and I'm now majoring in communications, radio and television.
Alan Hardy's been on and off, okay? I think his biggest contribution has come from the 15-foot area. He's really developed the shooting touch. They need him a little bit more on the offensive board in this game.
How you doing? My name is Keith Smith, freshman from Detroit McKenzie, majors education.
Keith Smith's had trouble with the outside shot. If he's not penetrating and dishing off and getting 7 or 8 assists a ball game, he probably isn't going to be in there very long.
Here's the action that led to Keith Smith's free throw that produced a 1-point Michigan victory in Game 1. What was on the freshman's mind when he went to the foul line?
Well, my thoughts were just to put the free throw in and just concentrating and make the foul shot. That's all on my mind, is making that free throw, because it's a very important free throw.
Judd Heathcote said the Spartans will be more successful if they run. Michigan coach Johnny Orr also likes to run, but only in certain situations.
We try to run if we have the opportunity. And if not now, I think we've become a little more patient than we ever have before. Because we've had trouble getting the ball out this year, and we like to bring it down in and move it around. We have several options and things that we try to run, and we try to be patient and get a good shot. And I think we've done a much better job of that in the last month than we had any time before.
If Michigan State plays the zone defense, it's going to be up to Keith Smith and Tommy Staten to penetrate past the guards and get the easy jump shots for Phil Hubbard, Mike McGee, and Alan Hardy. They're all capable of hitting that short jumper. In the man-to-man situation, they're going to be patient. They're going to get the ball in low to Hubbard. Hopefully he can outquick the people inside and draw some fouls. On the zone defense, the best way to beat it is to beat it down the court, run the fast break. Michigan's doing that better now than they have all season long.
That's the way each of these offenses has to operate to be effective. And, of course, the men that implement these offenses, the coaches. Gail?
Thank you, Don. It's often difficult to know where success comes from in the world of competitive team sports. Pure talent, the physical meshing of diverse athletes, attitude, emotion, concentration, tolerance for pain. There are many variables. But one thing is for certain, you can never overestimate the value of a coach. Michigan versus Michigan State, John Orr and Judd Heathcote. MSU's Judd Heathcote. His players describe him as knowledgeable and fiery. He came here from Montana 3 years ago. Last season, his team topped the conference, and he was named Big Ten Coach of the Year. John Orr, the winningest coach in Michigan basketball history. In his 11 seasons with the Wolverines, he's earned more Big Ten honors than any other coach. 2 Big Ten titles, 4 NCAA bids. His players say he's a nice guy. Michigan versus Michigan State. It is the rivalry. The fans know it, the players know it, and so do the coaches.
The Michigan State game of Michigan is the game. There's no question about that. And your team is all juiced up for that game. You don't have to say anything. They're going to be excited about that game.
Well, I think the Michigan game is always something special. Whether we win or lose the first game, it really has no bearing. I don't think there's a revenge factor. I think the Michigan game is the game of the year. I kind of like the way Johnny Orr says, hey, it's the big game. And regardless of the records, it means a lot to the players because they know each other so well. You talk about state pride and prestige. You have all those things riding on the Michigan game.
Before the season began, many observers felt that Michigan and Michigan State would be the 2 top contenders for the Big Ten title. But Iowa, Ohio State, and Purdue have moved to the forefront. Unpredictable is the word for the conference this year, and one wonders why that's been the case.
Well, I think it's the relative balance in the league, the strengths of the clubs, and whenever you have 2 good teams playing, if you're just a shade off your game, the other club can defeat you. And I think this is what has happened in the Big Ten, that even though there is a separation now between the top clubs and the bottom clubs, even the bottom clubs have had their days and will before the season's over.
Well, I think the teams are evenly matched. I don't think it's a question of any particularly great team in the Big Ten, but I think the first 7 teams are so evenly matched that you can't tell what's going to happen. All the games are overtime or 1 or 2 or 3 points, and I think that's good for the spectators. It's hard on the coaches.
And what of the coaches? Theirs is a special world of pride, frustration, glory, and defeat. Often they respect and appreciate one another. Sometimes they don't. Talking honestly about your competitor is not always easy.
Well, I don't have much of a relationship with Judd. I don't know him that well. He's only been here a couple years, and when I meet him, I'd say it's a cordial relationship. It isn't anything like I had with Gus Ganakas or anything, but Gus is a very good, close, personal friend of mine. But I get along with Judd, and I respect him, and I think he respects me.
Well, it's funny. The Big Ten coaches are not as close as the Big Sky coaches where I came from because we never get together at league meetings and have a chance to socialize. But my meetings and relationship with John has been very cordial, very friendly. I think he has just a super sense of humor and a great understanding of the game of basketball and what it takes to win. I really, honestly, don't feel that he's been given the recognition in this area that he deserves.
I think I've done a good job for Michigan. Michigan's done a lot of great things for me, and we've got a program now that's second to none in America. And I hope that they're going to remember me, certainly, as doing a good job for them.
You talk about the frustrations of coaching and the rewards of coaching and all of those things. But I say the association with young men, with the people in the program, with the periphery, the alumni, I think you can't meet finer people than you do in the field of athletics. And so I think it's a great opportunity. It's been a great life for me. It's been one I've enjoyed. And yet there are definite ups and downs, and you have to get over the downs and kind of savor the ups.
Michigan versus Michigan State, John Orr and Judd Heathcote. Basketball is their passion. Coming up, more with Mike Barry, and Jim Brandstatter is joined by Wayne State's Vernon Payne for a defensive analysis of the Wolverines and Spartans. Stay with us.
Defense. Teams are playing super tough defense this year. Jim Brandstatter explains.
Well, we've taken a look at the offense and we've taken a look at the coach's profile. For my money, the most important thing in any sport is defense. With me is Vernon Payne, the head coach at Wayne State University. He's a man, probably one of the best basketball minds in the country. He's an assistant coach at Michigan State before he came to Wayne State, and probably most responsible for getting Irvin Johnson to go to the Michigan State Spartans. Vernon, what about this rivalry, this matchup? It's a little larger than life, isn't it?
It sure is. There's a great deal of tradition that influences this game, in my opinion, and you're absolutely right. I think defense is going to be the key to the outcome of this basketball game.
Michigan State's defense has been super strong this year, and it's a zone. It's a 2-3 or 1-3-1, depending upon which way Judd wants to go with it. Could you explain that a little bit for us?
I sure can. The basic defensive alignment for Michigan State is a 2-3 zone. And they'll play Donnelly and Charles on the top of the zone. Now, Donnelly normally starts in this position here, tandem with Charles. Vincent has the middle, Kelser and Johnson have the baseline. If there's a point guard, Donnelly comes up and takes the point guard, okay? So what happens against Michigan? Michigan utilizes a 1-3-1 zone attack against the 2-3. Staton's on the top, McGee's on a wing, Hubbard is either high post or low post, Staton's on the other wing, and Hardy's down low.
What's the key now? How do they attack that to get points?
Okay. Michigan will attempt to enter the basketball to the weak side, the up guard side. The ball will go to the wing here. Now, Kelser is 6'8" and super quick. He'll come up and pressure McGee for the shot in this manner here. The key to the success for Michigan State is Donnelly's ability to get back, cover McGee, and release Kelser inside. With Kelser high, Hardy will move the baseline. So now you can see if Donnelly doesn't get there, the pass will go from Staton to McGee down inside to Hardy before Kelser can recover.
Now, if Kelser doesn't recover, this pass comes over. Irvin has to come over here to cover him, and that leaves Staton, who could come back down underneath, right?
That's absolutely right. Staton can attack from the weak side. If Johnson goes and fronts Hardy, then the pass will go from McGee across to Staton. Or it could come inside to Hubbard. Now, Hubbard is an excellent basketball player with his back to the basket or facing. He can drive the zone, he can take the jump shot here, or he can pass it back to the weak side. It's a very classic matchup, the 2-3 zone against the 1-3-1 attack.
Okay, Vernon, now for Michigan on defense, the key is stopping Irvin, and that job is falling to Tommy Staton, right?
That's exactly right. Tom Staton played a big part in the success that Michigan had at Ann Arbor. What Michigan State loves to do is get the basketball to Irvin Johnson and get involved in a transition game. Now, at 6'8", Irvin is the best player in America, in my mind, in the transition game. They'll get the ball to Irvin. Irvin will dribble the middle. They'll have Kelser filling a lane. They'll have Ron Charles filling a lane. And if Irvin is allowed to handle the basketball on an outlet pass from a rebound, handle the basketball, dribble the length of the floor, this is impossible to stop because Irvin is 6'8", and he can pass very well to the wings. Michigan is going to have to seal Irvin Johnson away from the ball. Hardy, McGee, Smith, Staton, who's ever in that area, is going to have to stop Irvin from handling the ball and force the outlet pass to go to Donnelly. Now, once that happens, Irvin will attack the middle, looking for the return pass. He must not be allowed to handle the basketball. That will give Michigan a chance to come down, set the half-court offense, and force Michigan State to play the half-court tempo.
And that's the key to the game right there, because Michigan State really doesn't play that good a half-court offense, and that's really Michigan's game.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And that goes against their reputations, because it says Michigan is a running team, and Michigan State sets it up.
Well, Michigan has a tradition of running, but I think Coach Orr has done a good job of adjusting the tempo of the game to the talent and the conditions that he has to work under.
Vernon, you're a player at Indiana, you're an assistant coach at Michigan State, you've seen this rivalry develop, you've been involved in it. Can I get a quick prediction from you?
It'd be tough to make a prediction in this game, but I think that if Michigan State controls the tempo and they can get involved in the transition game, they will be successful. If Michigan and Tommy Staton can control Irvin Johnson and keep them from running, then Michigan will have the edge.
Vernon, thank you very much. Appreciate your expertise. Best of luck, continued success at Wayne State. And we will be back with more of the rivalry and Mike Berry in just a moment.
We asked in the locker room before we went out in the team huddle that nobody got hurt and that everybody played up to his ability. If that happens here today, we're in for one fine display of college basketball. Sit back and enjoy the rivalry. I'm Mike Berry. Good afternoon, everyone.